In order to really study you, you have to shut out the world and really internalize who you are here to be. Your human design actually tells you your superpowers. The closer you understand your design, the more you just show up and you become so okay with being you. When you hear authenticity, people are looking for authenticity. That's not just showing up on social media with your makeup off and your hair not done. It's showing up so authentic to you and your human design that you just speak volumes to the people that need to hear you.
Hey, it's Rocky. Welcome to Rich Your Soul. Today's guest is Stefanie Carlstedt, who discovered that chasing success by everyone else's rules leads to burnout, and now helps others find alignment and clarity and freedom through human design. Imagine it's 12 months from now, and you've achieved your major life goals. How does it feel to be in the best shape of your life? To wake up energized, excited about the day, to have great relationships and friends who support you and propel you forward. How does it feel to have an excess of money, to be able to make the choices you want, to be fearless and open to trying new adventures? Imagine being connected to the universe and it providing everything you desire. It's possible over time, and your past does not dictate your future. The only thing holding you back from this vision is you. It's time to take control of our thoughts and use them to our advantage. Welcome to Rich Your Soul, where we achieve our dreams and bring balance to health, wealth, relationships, time, and spirituality. If you have not had a chance to listen to episodes 1 through 9, I encourage you to go back and listen to the framework behind Rich Your Soul and how to create the life of your dreams. You can also find all the show notes for this episode at richyoursoul.com. Today, we're diving into the pillars of purpose and personal growth with Stefanie Carlstedt, a human design business coach and mentor who helps entrepreneurs step out of society's boxes and create success that actually feels good. She built a 6-figure business following everyone else's strategies and lost herself in the process. That's when she discovered human design and everything changed. Now she helps others do the same, releasing fear, reclaiming their spark, and building lives and businesses aligned with their true design. If you've ever followed all the right steps and felt something's missing, this conversation will help you reconnect with who you really are and create success on your own terms. Let's meet Stefanie and see how it's done. Welcome to Rich Your Soul, Stefanie Carlstedt. It's great to have you join us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I appreciate you having me on. This is going to be fun.
I'm excited to learn from you as well. We always like to start at the beginning. What was it like when you were growing up, and how much did your family and school teach you about money?
So growing up, I had 2 very different versions of a money story. My parents were divorced early when I was in 3rd grade, and one had lots of money, one didn't have any money. And so it was I grew up with a kind of a twisted money story where I didn't think it positively of it. I thought it was bad. I thought there wasn't enough of it. I thought some people were always going to struggle. And so I did have to do a lot of work, after going to college, getting my degree and diving into entrepreneurship, after realizing corporate life was not for me. And I had to kind of rewire that part of my brain to understand that money is safe, money is good, means that you're helping people when you bring it in. And so it was a very hard story to unravel, but one that was necessary. Yeah.
It sounds like you learned money from watching your parents, but was there any kind of instruction either from them or from school?
Not from school that I can remember. Honestly, I don't remember much wasn't the normal kid in school. I didn't really believe in it. Now looking back, now I know why, but I just really leaned into my mom's struggles after they got divorced and things that happened and were said. And I think that's where I learned my money story. And looking back on it, it was needed. I needed to grow through that in order for me to become who I am today. But it was definitely mainly through my parents. Yeah.
So, what was the issue with schooling?
I have never felt like I fit the normal path. Like I've never felt like I fit the normal trajectory. College suffocated me. Corporate life suffocated me. I never felt like I always knew that there was something else within me, but I just, again, my parents said I need to go to college. I need to get the job. This is how I was supposed to be successful. I had zero friends or family in my life that were business owners, entrepreneurs. So I just kind of fell into the norm and continued to dismiss my own being until it was, until it all came unraveling and I really had no choice but to figure out who I truly was beneath all the conditioning.
Is that when the money story changed, or did it change before that?
Yeah, I think it probably changed at that time when I lost my dad to early onset Alzheimer's, and it really kind of spun me into a looking internal and grief cycle and really shutting out the world around me and understanding who I was and who I was designed to be and created to be. And so I think that was when it really shifted for me, because even building my first big business in the online space, I still was chasing I needed to make more money in order to be successful, or I needed to make more money in order to be known. And it didn't feel great. It always felt like I was chasing more. And, until really unlocking it, I understand now what's true for me.
I've noticed that with most business owners.
Mhm.
It always seems to be focused on more revenue,
Yeah.
and they all think more revenue will solve problems. They never seem to have an upper end of how much is enough.
Yeah. So it's like a never ending chase.
It's a never ending chase,
Yeah.
and the goalpost keeps moving, so you can never stop.
Right.
Is that what you found and kind of what you were referring to, or did you have a different take on it?
Yeah. I mean, when I opened my first business in entrepreneurship after leaving the corporate world, I grew fast. It grew pretty quick to six figures. And I kept, thinking I was having these massive paychecks, but I wasn't quote unquote fulfilled. I wasn't fully fulfilled. And, I was always going for that next milestone, that next goal, that next whatever it might be. And it was always the numbers, the money. It wasn't necessarily about how I was feeling and the lives I was going to change in the process. And so it did take that shifting moment in my life of losing my dad, who was my biggest cheerleader, to really come home to, okay, this isn't working and this isn't how we can sustain success.
That's interesting. Was it losing the human connection? I mean, it's hard to lose a parent,
Mhm.
and I get that. Or was there like something more to it that caused that spark to set off?
It was knowing that there had to be more. There had to be more than just striving for the next income milestone because it wasn't fulfilling.
It isn't.
Yeah.
You learned it at a young age, though. I guess
Yes.
early success. And then, yeah, when we face the shortness of life,
hmm
I think all of that stuff becomes clear
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
rather quickly.
Right.
So, what happened at that point? What did you do next?
So I had gotten certified in high performance coaching and went through that training, was really starting to build that business. And then human design entered my realm. I was introduced to it by my sister in law, and it was the first time I understood why I felt like I didn't fit into the normal trajectory of life. Like there was always something wrong with me. And I've never felt so seen, heard, validated, understood. And it was that moment that I knew this was my gift and my calling, and I had to get this out to the world. So that's it shifted everything for me. Yeah.
So, before we get to that, let's talk about the coaching you were doing. That was high performance coaching with Brendan Burchard.
hmm
I've been to his programs, I've read his books. He's extremely, is the word focused correct? Like
Yeah.
everything comes down to everything is a system and a process.
Yes.
From the moment you arrive home and you walk through your front door, there's a system and a process to walk
Mhm.
through a front door,
Yeah.
to walk into a room, to look at everything. I mean, all of his training literally breaks down to that.
Yeah.
And yet, I see most people struggle to implement that.
Mhm.
What did you find when you were working with him or with that system?
Yeah. I mean, I love Brendan. I think he's absolutely amazing and so gifted and so smart. For me, and when I explain a little bit about my human design a little bit later, you'll understand this more. But what I struggled with was having clients come to me needing the help and kind of almost plugging them into a system of questions that were for everybody and they weren't very individualized. And what I've found is that it is so crucial to understand everybody on the deepest level that you can, clients included, so that way you can help them with those steps. But when we don't understand our clients on this deep level, it's very, very hard to fit them into the mold of the steps, if that makes sense.
It does. So
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I am a systems person,
Okay.
right? Everything falls in, create systems and processes, execute on them, life will go well.
Hmm.
I didn't realize most people don't follow
Hmm.
systems and
Yeah.
processes. And so I'm like, no wonder they struggle in
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
because everything is difficult for them. And so I'll just give you some classic examples. It's been a while since we talked about many of these. And just because I printed it out the other day, our grocery list is in the order of the store
Hmm.
and it sits on the refrigerator. So you check it off randomly, but when you go to the store, you just follow the order
Yeah.
and you don't have to look around. In the same thing, when we were raising kids, everything was set and rolling so that in the morning there wasn't the commotion because everyone knew what they were supposed to do and they just executed.
Hmm.
And I do that throughout my business as well. Like everything has processes. And so everything can get done efficiently, but yet most business owners and most people don't do things that way. And it sounds like neither do you.
No, I'm very far from that. My husband is more like that. And, you know, once we talk briefly about your human design, you'll see why you're like that too.
No,
Very, very interesting.
I know that that's the way I am and I'm
Yeah.
designed that way. For me, the shock was not realizing that not everyone else is
Hmm.
because you
Yeah.
don't realize, yeah, how everyone else is designed so differently.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe that it is my mission and my purpose to get this out there to the world so we can understand each other better because we are in this new era of the individual where we have to, in order to move forward as a collective, understand each other and ourselves on a deeper level for sure.
So, what exactly is human design?
So, human design is let's first say what it's not because most people think it's something similar to the Enneagram, Strengths Finders, Myers Briggs, those types of things because they're used often. Those are all answered from a conditioned mind, that a mind that has been through upbringing, societal conditioning, trauma, all the things. So, when you get to those results, is it 100% you? I never resonated with those. That's why it took me a while to give human design a chance because I thought it was the same. But human design is both your conscious and your unconscious, your personality side and your not personality side. And so it is comprised of your birth date, your birth time, and your birthplace, and then 3 months prior to that. And that is how your chart is created. And I have never seen a chart. Someone come to me, 920 some people have gotten their charts with me, and I have not seen one come back and say, this isn't me. It tells you how you're meant to lead, how you're meant to move through the world, your energy, your for business, who you're meant to, like the traits that you can see best in other people and what they see in you, and how you're meant to market, sell. It's really fascinating and it's very individualized. And that's why I call it the science of individuality.
Do you find people struggle to believe in it?
Yep. That was me. I mean, that was me. I struggled to believe in it until I read my own. I read my kids, I read my spouse and my best friend, and we were all like, what is this? And so that's what I tell people when they come to me and they say, I struggle believing that. It sounds too out there. then I say, well, if you're in a place that you're struggling, you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you want to get to this next level, but you're feeling blocked, then why not try it? There's no harm in actually trying it. And I promise you, once you start reading it, you will have things unlock for you that you didn't know were there. So,
So, well, let's walk through some of these things. What are
yeah.
they going to learn by doing this? And you know my number, so you're free to talk about that too if you want to, or
Yeah.
I'm open to however.
So the highest level of your human design is the generator, the manifesting generator, the reflector, projector, manifestor. Those are the ones that most people know. If you ask them what their human design is, they know they're a generator or whatever. So generators are more step-by-step processes. They are meant to do what they love what they do. They have this light about them when they are in their era of doing what they love. And they have such an open aura that people around it can feel that they're not in alignment when they're not in alignment. So that's why it's most important for generators to really be in that place that they love doing what they do every day, and they can work endlessly because they are an energy being. There are some types that are not energy beings that are more seers and teachers, and they can see people and systems better than those people can see themselves. And they have the hardest time with the conditioning of the hustle culture and do. And so it's just helping people rewire and understand that. And the profile, which is fascinating, is what I feel like is the most important part of someone's design. I have a 3-5, you have a 1-3, I believe you said. And we both have 3 lines, which means that we are meant to trial and error and fail forward more than most people. And so there's little nuances in every single design that create the individual and how they're meant to move through the world. So that's just a brief explanation. I could talk for hours about it.
So, based on this information, what are people supposed to do differently? Like, how do they, are they, do they have to say, oh, I'm in the wrong job? Or do they have to readjust the way that they're
Yeah.
approaching it? Like, how does all that come together?
Yeah. So it's not necessarily that you are in the wrong job or the wrong business or whatever, but it's definitely the approach. I help teams. I also help corporate teams. And it's the approach to knowing your design and knowing everybody else around you. So that way you can it's like a puzzle piece. We each have a puzzle piece in this world. And it's the adjustment to that. So I always have known that I wanted to be an entrepreneur for the last 13 years. And I had to completely adjust how I built because I'm not meant to do the step-by-step processes like I did build my first business with. And that's why it left me frustrated and burnt out and wanting more constantly. So it is, some people are not will not thrive in a 9-to-5 life. I'm one of them, but that's not everybody. And so it is the adjustment of how you interact with the world and others.
It's funny that you say that because I couldn't imagine anyone thriving in that. But I guess but I've learned that there are people who do thrive in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's finding the right mix.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's finding the right mix. It's finding the right just way of going about things and not feeling bad about doing it differently than other people. That's the biggest thing, is that especially as business owners, entrepreneurs, we are inundated every day with do business this way, these trends, this hacks, these tips. This is what is working now. But it worked for that person. It's probably not going to work for you. And so we have to get past that. She did it this way, he did it this way. So that's going to be how I find the success that I want and that I'm craving.
And basically what you're saying in a slightly different way, and I've said this a lot, you can't follow someone else's path because it's not yours and it wasn't designed for you. And I think even when you try to follow other people's paths, they have certain skills, which is kind of what you're talking about. It could have been a timing thing. For example, we're in the early stages of AI. So people who create success in the early stages of AI is very different than somebody who's trying to create success in the late stages. You can't use the same path. The timing is different. Yeah. Same with social media. Like social media now is in a whole new world because of AI and just because people are getting tired of it and everything that's happened. So if you think that you're going to start a business on social media and make tremendous money like somebody did 20 years ago. Not happening, at least
Right.
not in the same way. You could do it in a different way, but being aware of that.
Yeah.
You mentioned, though, that you talk to corporations about this and corporate leadership.
Mhm.
How do they relate to it? Because they tend to be very stuck in their ways, so to speak.
So I market to people first leaders. And so they're the people that want what's best, like they want what's best for their team and they will go above and beyond for that. And I get that question all the time, and I honestly, when you're around it so much and when people know you, the people become open to it. And by 2027, so many people are going to become open to this because we are in this new era of the individual. And it's just, so it's the people first leaders that are not necessarily jumping on it right away, but at least asking the questions and embracing the fact that what they're doing isn't working. Then people are quitting, people are leaving, people are unhappy. And so it's just helping them see that this might be different, but something different has to happen.
How are you finding people first leaders? Like, how do you know where they are, where to even find them? And I don't say that no much for you, but if a person wanted to work in a company like that, even, how would they find that out?
Yeah. I mean, that's all my marketing. All my marketing is marketing to people first leaders. I'm on several podcasts about it. That's where I find most of my people. I believe that the people who are people first leaders and want to grow are the ones that are listening to specific podcasts. And, it's not on social media and it's word of mouth. It's talking to people. It's getting this out there. But yeah, it's definitely, you can tell when people care about their team and when they just want to just run people through the numbers and they don't want to even look at anything else. So,
And that makes a lot of sense. Not everyone will admit it.
mhm.
Sometimes you have to do a little digging. And unfortunately, a lot of people will say X, but the reality is Y.
Mhm.
And that's kind of unfortunate. You said we're going into this new era in 2027. Could you explain that?
Mhm. So again, this is something that just the same as human design. It's like you can believe it or not, but the new era of the individual is something that is starting right now and it's going to come into fruition fully in 2027. You are feeling this probably if you're paying attention that the education system's collapsing, there's changes happening, the health system's collapsing, there's changes happening, the political system, all of it. We can't move forward as humanity with the same, schools were meant to create workers. We're meant to create these, assembly
Factory.
line.
Yeah, factory workers.
Yeah. It's still the same. We can't do that anymore. And so people are starting to wake up to that fact and homeschooling a lot more and really just becoming their individual selves. And that's why human design is really blowing up right now in the best way, because it's just a piece of what's shifting in humanity is it's going this way and we can't go back to the systems and the ways that things were already created. We needed those for a time, but we don't need them anymore. So that's what I mean by that.
But is there something that's happening that now is the time, or is it just kind of the trend?
It's been written in books for hundreds of years that this is happening at this time. So I say that we are here on purpose for a purpose in this time. And it's because we are meant to be a piece of this new era. But yeah, it's been written, in books for years and years and years.
Okay. Are you familiar at all with the fourth turning or the end of the world is just beginning?
I think I've heard things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, they're just two books that they're looking more at the trends that are occurring. Fourth
Mm,
turning is the generational cycles that always happen every
gotcha.
100 years. And they have the end of the world is, it sounds horrible. It's really mapping out the shift out of globalization and back to deglobalization. So if you
Mm,
think about it and you look around, we're onshoring. And what they're talking about is different parts of the world are going to globalized to their location. So like North America, South America, China, you see right now, China, India, like those areas are coming so that you'll go back to, instead of this whole big world, kind of like zones. And
Yeah. Yeah.
who knows if they'll be open or free, but maybe with this, that will change too. And people will be more willing to do other things.
Yeah, for sure.
So when it comes down to day for business owners, those in leadership, how does this help them to be different, or how does it help them to better work with the people around them?
Yeah. So I always say that self-leadership is the most important thing when building a business or being in corporate, learning to lead yourself first. So always starting with your own design. And I tell people, like, it's, in order to really study you, you have to shut out the world and really internalize who you are here to be. Your human design actually tells you your superpowers. One of mine is tenaciousness. And it's just so fascinating to read people I know and see them in that. So the closer you understand your design, the more you just show up and you become so okay with being you. That's the, when you hear authenticity, people are looking for authenticity. That's not just showing up on social media with your makeup off and your hair not done. It's showing up so authentic to you and your human design that you just speak volumes to the people that need to hear you.
Do we kind of need to know this, or it should be natural to us, right?
Well, it should be, but we have been so conditioned that it's not. I think I've had one client that I've worked with that has already been very into her human design and knows it. But most people are so conditioned to act a certain way, to that success looks a certain way, that if you do this, then you're wrong. If you do it this way, you're wrong. And it's just, you should, like, you feel like you should, but you don't. You hide pieces of you because of, there's actually fears that are written in your human design also. And one of mine was fear of judgment, because I am meant to go first in this new era thing. Like my human design shows that my core four, my life's purpose, is actually to lead this and to be not just talk about it, but embody it. And it's really, really cool because when you read your design, you feel it, it's you, but you can also see what you've been hiding too. But it gives you permission. It's your permission slip, honestly. I tell people human design does not put you in a box. It sheds a light on the box you put yourself in.
Are most people accepting of it?
Yeah. After they start.
Or do they?
No. After they start to read it, they're like, whoa, okay, tell me more. Like, keep giving it to me. I have not had one person say, nope, this isn't me.
So in a corporate structure, are people then looking at it, having their people look at it, and then maybe you realize you've got the wrong people in the wrong seats?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
So what do you do then?
Yeah. I mean, so that's the beauty of it, because here's the thing. You might have, just as an example with a group that I worked with, they had a manifestor on their team and who always seemed standoffish and just created this almost animosity, this unnecessary friction. And when I explained that manifestors have a closed aura and they come off as that way, that is them, it helps them shift their perspective of, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. This is just who she is. Does that make sense? So it's so powerful. Some people are meant to be the connectors of the team, putting people together and be the networking part. And that is huge to know. Some people, they do not do well in that area. And so just some people are better with the systems, the steps, the step-by-step processes. So I think understanding that about your team can help even just rearrange things and also let your team felt like they're being seen and heard instead of just shoved into a box also.
This episode of Richer Soul is sponsored by the Profit Answer Man podcast. If you're a business owner who wants to scale and grow, increase profits, or want to have strategic conversations around your financials, then check out the podcast. You'll learn how to work less, increase cash flow, increase profits, and build reserves to help you weather storms. It's built on the profit first methodology of pay yourself first. The Profit Answer Man podcast is a must listen to for every small business owner and anyone who wants to help them survive and thrive. Check it out on your favorite listening platform. I've got to believe, though, it's a bit of a struggle to get everyone into alignment and accepting, not maybe of themselves, but of the others, and then how to, it almost seems, so when I look at some of the other systems, I'm familiar with DISC, I'm familiar with Myers-Briggs and a lot of the others. The thing that it's really easy with the DISC profile to realize, okay, that person belongs in that seat. It's harder in the DISC profile for a high D to deal with an S and back and forth. So even though we know that they're there, it's still a difficulty of dealing with our differences. Have you found that with this? Is that when people are, in other words, is if a person has this type of profile, which doesn't mesh well with this type of profile, or is that not necessarily the case?
No, it's not that they don't mesh well. It's that there are some, you actually, when you're working with somebody, you can actually create superpowers together. So knowing that about each other, there's nothing bad about human design. It's really just, there's no one that you won't get along with. It's really just understanding that, oh, if I work with her, we can like create this amazing thing together. And she does this part of it. I do this part of it. But then the other piece is just knowing that like projectors, they need more breaks. They can only work 2 to 4 hours efficiently on the same thing, or they will burn out and be exhausted. They're not an energy being. So if you don't know that about your people and they're working 9 to 5 with maybe a half hour break, they're not going to be happy. And so it's just understanding that. And I honestly haven't had the pushback that I think a lot of people believe that is there, because once they start to uncover this, it opens up doors and thoughts and ideas that they didn't even know they were capable of.
Do you have some success stories?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear them.
Are you taught like with what, corporate or clients?
Clients, corporate, like what people who do this, then what happens?
Yeah. So I have a client that I am working with now, and she has been trying to get her business going. I mean, she had it going, but it was just stuck. She was buying all the same things, all the courses, this is how to build a business. And I took her business, I looked at it, and I looked at her human design, and I said, you are so misaligned in the way you're talking about your business, in the way you're marketing it, in the way that you are packaging your offers. And she just messaged me yesterday and she said things are blowing up. And so we shifted her marketing, her offers. She knows what her fears are. So she can, when she's coming up against some friction, she's like, oh, that's a fear that's running in the background. Because what happens, another fear is she has fear of intimacy, not necessarily relationships, but fear of getting close with people. So collaborating with people, working with like an assistant. That's her fear, that it all has to be on her, that she can't get close to people or things will just not happen. And so when she looks at that fear and uses it to her advantage, then she understands so much more about herself. She is able to push forward into her business. And her business looks completely different than it did 12 weeks ago. And she's happy. She's excited. She's on fire every day. And that wasn't the case for the last 6 years. 6 years she was stuck in her business, spinning her wheels with the same fears running in the background, completely misaligned. What happens when you're not speaking in the right way that your design tells you to? The people that are meant for you will just bypass you. It just is what it is. They will not be able to see the frequency that you're meant to share.
That's interesting. It's beyond the words then, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. 95% of your business is nonverbal.
So if it's nonverbal, what are those things?
It is so for instance, one of my superpowers is conviction. It's the way I speak about what I do. So that's the frequency, like the frequency of my voice, right? And then the marketing, I market in a specific way for my specific fractal of humanity. My offers are set up the way my design tells me is that I'm better one-on-one with people. So I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. I don't do group coaching at this time. Some people love group coaching and thrive. Gosh, there's so much. You have 9 energy centers in your human design. Some are colored in, some are not colored in. The ones that are colored in are ones that you have access to at all times. The other ones, you need other people to be around you in order to gain wisdom and create the results you can create in that energy center. It's the way you walk. It's the way you just everything. Like I said before, when you learn your human design, you become so okay with being you that it just naturally all happens.
I read a book and I can't remember the name of it. And it had to do with certain personality types, not the ones that like the Myers-Briggs and all of that. It was
Mhm.
more, it was different. But what you were talking about, it reminded me because in the book, when they were talking about a personality type, they would show a picture of how they looked,
Mm.
how they stood,
Mhm.
how their body was positioned, even the shape of their face.
Yeah.
And they would say, people like this kind of look like this. So you're not trying to change people.
No.
You're trying to get them to accept who they are.
Right. I'm trying to, again, shed a light on the box that they've put themselves in. My clients come to me, every one of them, with lacking the results they desire or wanting to get to the next level. But they're stuck. They're spinning, they're stuck, they're frustrated. And this opens up everything for them because when you understand the conditioning that has happened to us, that has put us in this box, and you start to unfold that, it just, I had a client yesterday because I have a trained bot that knows superpowers, and she was going over hers this weekend, and she sent me a message and said, I am just in shock. Like, this is, I needed this is so me, and this makes me feel like it's okay to be me, because she has never felt like it's okay to be her. She's always she had a hard upbringing, and it's shedding that light on it's okay to be you, and this is actually who you are. There's nothing wrong with it.
Do people accept that this is who they are and there's nothing wrong with it? Or do they struggle with that part of it?
So it depends. But for instance, she's a projector. And again, they're not energy beings. They actually are designed to take naps during the day. They just don't have energy like generators and manifesting generators do. And that's a hard one when you're married to a generator and when you have like a leader that's a generator. So there are some that are harder to decondition, but that's the process of it. When I work with clients, they get access to my portal to really self-study themselves endlessly. And it's just on repeat. It's on repeat and shutting out the noise of external thoughts and ideas.
You talk about so what exactly is the portal and what does it do?
So the portal is just a human design self-study portal that my clients get access to. It just has all of the trainings of human design, deep trainings, so they can, because I think there's never ending. You get to a point in your life, I'll read something about my human design now, and I think completely differently about it than I did, 6 months ago, because I'm a different person. We're always growing and evolving. As long as we are living our design, we're always growing and evolving. Otherwise, we're not. And so, yeah, it's a self study portal that you get access to for free.
How far out of alignment do you think most of the world is?
Oh gosh, pretty far. The majority of the people that I talk to say things like, my job is sucking the life out of me, but they're still going every day. Their business is not where they want it to be, but they're still doing the same things every day. See the trend. They're not where they want to be, but they're still doing the same things they've been doing. They're doing the same habits. They have the same routines. And it's just a hamster wheel. We are all on a hamster wheel. And breaking free of that is key to living the life that you want.
I find it's really hard to get people to break free or even to talk about it or address it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's where, for me, it's my conviction in this human design, that the more I can get this out to people, the more I'm going to help people see that. Because when you do start reading it and start seeing where you are misaligned, it just opens up this whole new world for you of, wow. I mean, it shines a light on a lot. And so I always say it's just starting the process of looking into you, and then things start to unfold.
So someone comes to you, what does that look like? What is that process? Like
To work with me.
to work with you, or not even so much to work with you, but to work through this whole thing. Somebody listens to this and says, I want to find my alignment and go do what I
Mhm.
should do. Like,
Mhm.
what does that whole process look like? And is it
Yeah.
like a snap of the finger and tomorrow we're all just perfect? Or
When do we wish? No. Yeah. So the first thing that everybody does is they get their free human design chart plus 12-page PDF plus 5-part audio, because I want people to start to, and most people charge for that stuff, but I want people to start to see what this can do for them in just that. And so then from there, they can book a call where we just talk about, I take them through specific parts of their business where we find the holes and where they're not aligned. And then if they work with me, we start there. We start by decoding their design so they can have quick wins in their efforts and create a business that looks like nobody else. That's for the business owners. So it really is, it's why I love what I do, because it's so individualized that it's not a step-by-step process, in a sense that there is certain steps that I take people through, every single person. But then when you get to the business piece, it's really in alignment with you and how you're meant to get out into the world.
I have to ask, how does this play with people's relationships with money?
Well, there are hidden fears, actually. That's one thing that I learned in my human design, is that I not only had that money story that I talked about in the beginning, but I do have the fear of success. That's one of the fears that are written in some designs. There is fear of failure. We think we all have that fear, right? But we really don't all have that fear. It's just kind of, we're putting words to something. But fear of success was a big one for me, because I had that money story of, money's not good. Money is only for people, certain people, that type of stuff. And so really working with them through their fears is the first thing that I do, is the fears of their human design.
You mentioned the first thing is fears. Are there like certain categories that you work through? Are there certain parts of this whole thing that are laid out?
Yeah. So it's the fears. So the first thing we go through is your fears. And then we do, depending on, I mean, like I said, I have a client right now who already knows her human design inside and out. So we're really just putting it into her business. But for those that don't know their human design inside out, we start with the fears, and we start with each energy center, and if it's defined or undefined, and then their core four, their life's purpose, profile, how they're seen on the stage of life and how others view them and how they can see other people. So it's really just fascinating for them to start to understand and open up to who they truly are and who they've been hiding behind. And then from there, we start implementing business strategies, not like the typical, most of my people that come to me for some reason really don't like social media. And so that is not one of our, we create, yes, we make sure they're present on social media, but not anything past that. And then we just, create the business that most of mine are podcasters. So we do podcasting strategies too.
Hmm. You keep talking about 9 energy centers. Can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, I'll give you just a couple examples. So if you've gotten your human design, you can see that there's 9, they're divided into like 9 energy centers in your body graph. And one of them, for instance, is the sacral, which is, for me, I have a sacral authority in my design, which means that I am meant to make decisions like immediately. I know when my gut says yes, when my gut says no. That's for emotional authorities. They're meant to wait for that emotional wave of clarity to get past before they make a decision. Otherwise, they might end up regretting their decision after. So those are just a couple, but So that's sacral authority is really about the gut knowing I have that access at all times if I'm willing to shut out the external noise and not letting the mind get to me. And then we have the ego center, which is all about, the self-love and self-trust. And, is yours defined or undefined? And then we have the spleen center, which is instinctual, which those with that authority know, like they have a very quick instinct. Yes or no. Is this the right answer? Should I go left? Should I go right? Those are the types of things they listen to in their authority. And so then there's the throat, which is my favorite center. It's really just the communication center, the manifestation center. And some people have it defined which I do, which I'm a spontaneous speaker. So when I know what to say, I have to trust that it's meant to be heard by the right people. Some people need to be around other people in order to bring that out in them. So it's really fascinating.
No, that was helpful to kind of explain what the different centers are and
Yeah.
how they kind of come to be. Because when you talk about energy centers, people can take that a multitude of different ways. They might think it's their chakra or something else.
Oh, yeah,
and so they get confused about the verbiage. That's all.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
What else should people know about this that we didn't touch on?
I think that just you're so individualized, you have no idea. And it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. I mean, you can study your design for a year, which is so cool. I think there's so many nuances in it. You have you have something that's called a past node and a future node. So a past is probably where you were at before you were 40. And then when you turn 40, we call it, a lot of times society calls it the midlife crisis, but it's not a crisis. You're literally shifting into this, your body is trying to shift into this new future version, like future direction, I guess, of this future node. So that's another piece that's in it too. I think it's just knowing you're not here to fit the mold. You're here for a specific reason in a specific way. And it's time to unlock that.
Is this something you can use with children?
Yes. I know all of my kids' human designs. I think the earlier your children can know their designs, the better. I want to get it into schools. I want to get it into daycares. That's my mission. And I'm not stopping until it's done because it has to happen.
What's the biggest roadblock you're hitting with that?
I think it's just the red tape, it has to be universalized with the public schools and just talking to the right person that's open to it, which more people are becoming open to it. And honestly, just getting my name out there. I think it's really is opening the door. It's letting people that's why I give so much away for free up front, because it's opening that door for people to think, oh my gosh, yes, this is actually real and this is going to change my life. But until they're willing to look at it, they'll just sit in where they're at.
They will. I just, through all the things that I've been, I find most people are stuck in their ways. That's all. Mm-hmm. And trying to
we're starting to open up. We're starting to open up for sure as society, bit by bit, piece by piece, we are opening up. And that's why I'm so convicted in this, because the more people hear it, I get messages every day. I've been watching you. I've been listening to you. Tell me more. It takes a little bit of time for people.
It does. And I am seeing that shift just across the board of how things are going. And it's like you said, and I think the fourth turning did a good job of just saying, hey, the things that are going to crumble, and it's time for new processes and new systems and a new way of humans kind of getting to the next level. So I see a lot of these come together. We've had a lot of guests who are futurists. Everyone has said similar, but in their own way, through their own lens and through their own light. So as crazy as times are, they're saying less than 10 years and things will be dramatically different and better. So hopefully that's all true and we survive to the other side.
Yes.
Yes. Very cool. It's time to learn the secrets of life. What's one truth about success you wish more people understood?
That is going to look completely different than the person next to you.
It's true. And yet everyone's chasing the Joneses, right?
Yep.
But that's not who you need to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Exactly.
What's a lesson that cost you a lot but was worth every penny?
Building my first six-figure business was hard in that I was completely misaligned in it, but I know I had to build that and have let it fall in order for me to see how to actually build an alignment and feel good. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting you say that because we work with business owners to help them build their business model.
Hmm.
And it's amazing how few people do that. And when you build a business model, I do it from a financial standpoint. You're doing it more from an energetic standpoint, but it becomes clear as day, is this going to work or not? And
Yeah.
I find very few people take the time to do that plan on
Mhm.
either side of us.
Yeah, I agree.
If you were to give an 18-year-old one specific piece of wisdom, what would it be?
Oh boy, this is where my convictions come in.
That's
uh,
okay. Be convicted.
I actually have an 18-year-old. And what I would say is that college is not the only way. And if it doesn't feel aligned for you, doesn't feel right for you, then it's not your path. There's so much more for you out there that you can change the world with. And so don't let people feel like they have to put you in that box too.
And I think there are a lot of people challenging college today in a
Mhm.
variety of different ways. And so
Yeah.
I think it's time to do that and figure out what works for you. But that doesn't mean you stop learning. And I
Right.
think that's where people get confused. You don't need to go
Yeah.
to school to learn, do you?
No, I've learned. I mean, I can't even remember the things I learned in school, but the things I've learned as a business owner, entrepreneur, I use every day, in everything for sure.
So very true. If people would like to get one of these reports, learn more about you, how do they do that?
StefCarlstedt.com/HD report. So I think we'll put that in the show notes, right? Okay.
Yes.
My name's kind of spelled differently, but yes, grab that because it will help you on the path, starting that path to opening this up for you. Like I said, most people charge for anything past your body graph, which I think is ridiculous because you don't understand anything when you're looking at your body graph. It looks foreign to those who don't understand it. So grab that and listen to the audios and book a call if you feel called to and would love to chat.
And we will put that all in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us
Yeah.
today.
Thank you.
Stephanie's story reminds us that real success isn't about chasing more, it's about aligning who you are with how you live and work. That's what I've done. It's amazing. If your business feels out of sync with your values or your vision, let's fix that. That's what you've got to do. Reach out to Stefanie or someone else who works in those spaces. If this episode inspired you, share it with a friend who's ready to stop following everyone else's path and start building success that actually feels good. Next week, we've got from startups to $941 million exits, lessons from the billion-dollar coach. Thanks for listening. Have an abundant week.